Now that the season is over, how will you assess how this season is? How do you assess how the season has been for you, and what are your immediate feelings now that it's over?
Um, Year four. Exciting to say that I'm able to play in year four with the guys that I have been able to play with. Learned a lot, grew a lot. A lot of exciting moments throughout the course of the season. Made it to my second playoffs. It was a good season. Obviously, we want to go further and want to still be fighting for a championship. But the cards don't always pan out that way. But it was a lot to learn from and a lot of takeaways.
We've seen what you can do. When you look back at this season, and there were games that you weren't able to find what you do best. When you evaluate that, I mean, how do you break it down and say, okay, here's why and what happened and all of that?
I think every player wants to go out and have a good game every game. It just doesn't work that way sometimes. And find ways to get better, find ways to learn. You can always add to your game, your skill set, and definitely looking forward to that.
Was there ever a point during the season where you felt like, okay, now I found what I've been looking for all season? I mean, I feel like, okay, I'm right now.
I feel like I was right the whole season. You just, you learn and see different schemes, different matchups. There will be different things that I'll come back and I'll see next year. As for other players, and you just go with the learning curve, find ways to, get better with those things. Apply, learn, and keep it pushing.
It seemed like, during this postseason, I know you had injuries and things like that, but it seemed like you weren't as decisive, with your movements as you were last season. What was the biggest difference during this postseason as opposed to last one, when you go in the first round and you start a few games, it seems like you had a lot more rhythm that you didn't have this postseason. What was the difference in your mind?
Probably just a little bit of a role change. Last year I could come in, score, be aggressive with the team that we had around. Being more of a facilitator, trying to get guys off the ball, get them easy shots. Throughout the course of the playoffs, we had two really good defensive teams that we played, and just trying to find ways to facilitate, get inside. It's not always about scoring; it's about finding ways to, try to help our team be successful. And I think every playoffs will be different. Everything won't be the same, and like I said, you learn from that, grow from that, and apply to your skill set.
Jordan, Alex Simon from Bay Area News Group. Just when you look back, how much do you feel like maybe the events in the preseason impacted the whole season? Did it feel like it lingered to you, and what was the impact that it had on this year?
We read it to the second round of the playoffs. We had a good season, and guys stepped up. We had a lot of exciting moments. So I don't think there's anything that was, changing any of that.
When you look at last year's team versus this year's team, the rosters, the makeup, the personalities, what do you think was the biggest difference between last year's team and this year's team in that regard?
We were two different teams. A couple different players and a couple different coaches changes, but as you would expect to see a different team when you make different changes. I think that's just how it goes. Obviously, we have our core guys and our core knowledge, and we can definitely always ride with that.
When you look at guys on the last year's team, guys like Gary, who came back to this year at some point, but Juan, D. Lee, you had a bunch of guys last year that were like basically trying to prove they belong in the NBA.
Right.
Was any of that? Did you sense any of that this year from the guys?
We got guys on our team who are in the NBA, so I feel like they've proven that they deserve to be in the NBA. And I think if you could keep teams together, and after winning a championship, you would want that to happen. But guys have to make decisions not only for their future and their career, but for their families. And the decisions were made, and we had an amazing year last year, and we won a championship. And obviously, that's what we strive for every time we come out and play on the court. It doesn't happen that way, but we get another chance to come back with a good group of guys and got our core guys next year and have another run at it.
You probably had the most attention on you that you probably ever had in your life. Did that weigh on you as the series? Not the series, but as the season wore on? Because that's something that I guess you say you shy away from. So how was that to have all of that on you this year?
I mean, I think it's cool. You live, you play basketball, to impact lives, impact the youth. You want to be recognized for your talents. It comes with it. Good games, bad games. Especially now in today's era, we're growing up with like a different media, new media, than it was 20 years ago. So just try to be an example. Lead by example for the youth. It just comes with it. Good days, bad days. People say good things, good opinions, bad opinions. But at the end of the day, we're playing a game that we love, and we're able to change our families' lives, and that's all that really matters, honestly.
What's the biggest thing you learned this year?
I learned a lot of stuff, bro. I don't know.
Well,
Right? That's a
Hi,
crazy
Jordan.
question. What's up?
well, kind of along those lines, how did you how do you block out some of that scrutiny, so to speak, and just go about your business? I mean, I know on the off day, I saw you out there working out hard like you always do with
Yeah.
whoever's available, and just getting back to work. Is that part of it? Just
Yeah.
go to work the next day.
Yeah, it just comes with it. I was having a conversation with somebody who was like the stuff that we're seeing people say now, whether it's on social media, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is, like these are the same people that were saying the same things 20 years ago. They just didn't have the outlet. They didn't have the opportunity to. They were just reading newspapers or listening to the radio. So, like I said, it's 2023, and that's just what we grew up in. That's what our era, our generation grew up in, and you just got to adjust, adapt, and I feel like we're used to it. They'll find something to say about anybody. Like, I think Jason Tatum had a rough start, and what was it, game 6, I think, against Philly. Like, what are we talking about? Like, he had a great ending and brought them back, forced a game 7. So like good, bad opinions, it doesn't matter. We're out here just to play hard and try to win games.
Yeah, but I mean, you say you're used to it, but that
It more so comes with it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Some of us are taking heat. I mean, we didn't have Monty and I, when we were young, didn't have this kind of stuff, and they go after us too. But I mean, you're a public figure, and you're out there in the spotlight trying to entertain, and it doesn't. Does it just bounce off? It can't just bounce off all the time, can it?
I mean, I have a really good support system, and I'm a child of God, and I have a lot of faith. So being able just to rely on my faith and talk to my supporting cast, it really helps a lot, and like I said, it just comes with it. You find ways to learn and like adapt and grow. So it's not really much to it.
Jordan, what do you view as kind of your priorities for this offseason and kind of throughout the summer?
Just add to my skill set, whatever that means. Watch film, look back. You can always find a way to get better, and the summer is always an exciting time to really just add to your game. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
And what was, I guess, the organization's message in your meeting here with the exit interview before coming over here about what they want to see from you?
Well, not sure I can share that information.
You're known for, among other things, a guy who works your tail off. Is it possible can there be overwork? Can there be too much? I mean, can you push yourself too hard? Do you think that's even possible?
I mean, maybe physically, like you can run yourself down, but there's always working smarter, not harder. There's always hard work. There are different forms of way of getting better, whether it's physically, whether it's mentally. Just finding ways to bring the best out of yourself. Obviously you want to work hard and push the limits and really test yourself and see how good you can become. But through that, there's also working smart and finding other ways to get better.
You and Loon have that Milwaukee connection, and that is that part of it. I mean, you two sort of motivated each other at times, and I know you wanted to play all 82 and follow what he did last year. And also, how proud are you of what he did for you guys on the playoff stage and all year?
Yeah, I'm extremely happy for Loon. Obviously, I think everybody knows he's like he's my big brother essentially. So just being able to look up to him and ask him questions and just being able to form the bond that we have over the course of the 4 years, in the locker room, off the court. It's just a natural, genuine connection. And when you have that, with somebody, you kind of just find ways to push them competitively. The nature of the spirit, nature of the game. And he was huge for us this year. He had an amazing season. And he really helped us get to where we are. So he definitely deserves all the credit that he's going to get.
Jordan, I'm curious of when you sign an extension as you did heading into the year, does that, maybe not pressure isn't the right word, but do you kind of go through the season saying, like, I want to prove a point, I want to prove that I am worth what you guys just signed me to?
Are you asking personally or are you asking, like, generally?
Start personally, if you feel that way.
Personally, I always play with the edge. Always a chip on my shoulder, find ways to get better. Not essentially proving people wrong, but, just knowing what I'm capable of and trying to reach that, night in and night out. So.
Just quickly, when you say you want to add to your skill set, what things do you kind of think you can add and are focusing on adding as you kind of look into the summer that way? There
are so many things that you can always add to your game. Probably sit down, evaluate, think what's best. That's what the summer's for. So I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't.